Sarah now. As Julian arrives, she paced her apartment. The manuscript pages spread across the coffee table like scattered feathers. Her stomach churned. Something was wrong with the new chapter. Deeply wrong. It read like someone imitating her voice from memory. And she knew who had written those passages. Julian. Again. She had asked him for help, yes. She had accepted his edits, yes. But this felt different. This felt like he'd taken the reins. Entirely. And worse, she couldn't remember whether she'd given him permission or he'd simply slipped into the space where permission should have been. Her phone buzzed with his message. On my way. She sank onto the couch, heart pounding. She'd texted him impulsively, a knot of panic tightening her throat. She wasn't even sure what she wanted to say. She only knew the book wasn't hers anymore, not fully, and the realization had crawled up her spine like frost. A moment later, a knock at the door. She pressed her palms against her thighs to steady them. When she opened the door, Julian stood there with that familiar, polished warmth concern etched softly across his features, the kind that made people trust him, the kind that made her chest ache with both relief and dread. Sarah, he said, stepping inside as though he had always belonged there. You sounded shaken. Tell me what's going on. She opened her mouth and froze, because looking at him now, she suddenly saw two truths warring inside herself. The man she wanted him to be, and the man she feared he was. She didn't know which truth would win. She only knew he was already walking toward the manuscript pages on her coffee table, ready to explain, to soothe, to shape, ready to rearrange the furniture again. Sarah and Julian, the confrontation. Julian stepped into the living room as if it were his own, moving with unhurried confidence, eyes sweeping across the scattered manuscript pages on the coffee table. Sarah watched him, arms crossed, trying to steady her breathing. He picked up a page, brows knitting with a crafted concern. When you said it was urgent, he murmured, I didn't know you meant this much. Sarah swallowed. Julian, did you rewrite this chapter? He glanced up, expression open, soothing, almost paternal. Rewrite? He smiled faintly. No. I polished a few sections you were struggling with. That's all. That's not all. She stepped closer and tapped the page in his hand. This isn't my voice. His smile dimmed, just enough to look hurt, not defensive. Sarah, come on. Your voice is here. I only strengthened it. No, she said, quietly. You replaced it. The silence that followed stretched like cooling metal. Julian set the page down with slow, deliberate care. I think, he said, voice gentle, you're under a lot of pressure, and when we're stressed, we stop. Sarah's voice wavered, but the word was steady. Don't do that. He tilted his head. Do what? That thing, where you decide what I'm feeling before I say it. He hesitated for a fraction of a second, just long enough for her to notice the fracture. Then he stepped toward her, softening his posture. I'm not deciding anything, Sarah. I'm trying to help. You called me, remember? You said it was urgent.